All right, thank you, Laurie. And tomorrow, the Ontario government will present its budget, and reports suggest that the budget will include a plan to raise the minimum wage. Now, according to reports, the current rate of $8 an hour will jump to $8.75 next year, then rise 50 cents to $9.25 a year later, and then go on to $10.25 an hour in 2010. The McGuinty government has been under pressure to bump the rate to $10 an hour immediately, but the government is worried a wage hike could lead to massive job losses. On the flip side, the Liberals also have an election they're looking to win in October.
Nick Bontis joins us live now from the DeGroote School of Business. Hello, Nick.
Hi, Connie.
This change in the minimum wage that is proposed is still 3 years away until it gets all the way to $10.25. But will small business be able to afford to pay their employees that much, even in 3 years' time?
I think if the government chooses to do the gradual increases like they're suggesting, then businesses will be able to afford it. I mean, once we reach $10.25 an hour, we have to compare that with other countries around the world. The UK is already at $11 an hour minimum wage, and Australia is at $13 minimum wage. So our Ontario businesses have to be at least as competitive as those two countries. So $10.25 seems reasonable to me, and the payroll increases are just a small percentage each and every year. So businesses should be able to afford it.
Well, let's look at the implications, though. The McGuinty government is concerned that a substantial immediate rise would lead to major job losses. What do you see?
I don't think it's going to lead to major job losses. I mean, if you look at minimum wage workers, half of all workers under the age of 25 years old in Canada work at minimum wage, and most of these are in hotel, food services, bars, nightclubs. Those sectors, hotels, food services, bars, and nightclubs, are never going to go away, so I don't think we're going to see job losses.
Okay, but what about on the other side? Are we going to see some inflation kick in? If minimum wage increases, will the rest of the workforce demand a raise as well, and then up and up it goes?
Do you want a raise? Because I know I want a raise.
Yes, I'd love a raise.
I think everybody would love a raise.
Dan wants a raise too.
Dan wants a raise too. I think, I mean, everybody can demand a raise, but the reality is who's going to get a raise. I mean, minimum wage workers, I think, deserve the raise to be on par with the rest of the countries around the world. Top managers, senior individuals in organizations, they get paid extremely well already, so I don't think they're going to be demanding a raise. An interesting study showed that if you looked at the CEO and compared the CEO's wages to a minimum wage salary person's wages, that ratio was 50 to 1 in 1966. So in other words, for every $10 the minimum wage earner earned, the CEO earned $500. Now that ratio 40 years later, now at 2006, has skyrocketed. Every dollar that a minimum wage earner earns now, a CEO earns $800. So at $10 an hour, a CEO earns $8,000 an hour. So the reality is senior people get paid very well already. It's the minimum wage workers that we need to help out.
All right, thank you, Nick Bontis. We'll talk again.
Thank you.